We're broadcasting live from Greenville Primary School, one of the many schools in the Eastern Cape that was part of the schools in the Eastern Cape that didn't receive the nutrition money program a couple of weeks ago. You remember that a couple of weeks ago there was a huge uproar in the Eastern Cape when the Department of Education failed to pay the nutrition program funding to schools, resulting in many children going hungry for days. A few days after that, after much investigation, the money was paid, but obviously much too late after kids went hungry. We are now at a school in Gqeberha in the northern areas, an area really marred by high levels of unemployment, loss of poverty, where the school is saying that the money, yes, has been paid, but not enough money, not the total of money that should be paid. And we're now going to speak to Mrs. Lerato, one of the teachers who's part of the feeding program here, to speak exactly how tough things were not to have school a nutrition program fed to them, and also how do they get by when there isn't any money coming into the school, when there are hungry mouths to feed, but there's no money to feed these children. Mrs. Lerato, let's just first talk how tough things have been for you at Greenville when the money wasn't paid on time to the school.
It was tough for 2 weeks with to depend on local spaza shops, and we were looking for sponsors so that the children could eat, because there's a lot of children that didn't have even food for the previous night to eat, so they come to school hungry. And that was frustrating for us, and it was heartbroken because they depend on this food to go through the day. And eventually a child who's hungry can't actually think at school. It's like a poor learner. So we had to go out looking for sponsors. For 2 weeks it had gone on like that, and where we couldn't get, we took from our houses just to feed the children. We are only 2 meal service at the school, but we were managing and tried to manage. But there were days, a few days that there wasn't. Then today, then tomorrow there is. So it was a tough time. It was a tough 2 weeks.
And Mrs. Lerato, the majority of kids that come to the school are coming from very impoverished homes. So like you're saying, this is the first meal, probably the only meal for the day. How bad in terms of poverty are the kids at the school?
Yeah, there's a lot of children who are identified. There is a big problem. There's poverty, a big problem at the school because they they will always come to the feeding room and ask if there is more, or where there's children that we identify that if there is leftovers, we will put it in their lunch then to take home, because then we know that this afternoon there's nothing to eat at home. That's why the children is depending on this nutrition that we give the children every day.
And then Mrs. Lerato, I know the money was eventually paid into the school. Is the money enough? Was the money paid in full? And are you able now, with the money that you've got, if it's full, to take care of all the kids' nutritional needs?
At the moment, we are supplying the children with food, but I don't think the money will be enough for the children for the rest of the term, actually, because there's a lot of stuff that's still needed in the feeding room. So but we're coping for now. We are coping with the food we have for the children, but I don't think it will last.
So do you foresee a situation where we are looking at maybe the next 2 or so weeks, or maybe 2 or so months, where you'll run out of food again, and is there a plan then if there isn't any money coming into the school?
I don't know. If there's no money coming to school, what we're going to do, I don't know. But for this, I don't think it will last for two months or so. Nothing will last. I don't think the money will last for 2 weeks.
And then lastly, how does this make you feel? I mean, obviously you're the one that was dishing the food for the kids. Obviously, beyond just giving them food, you have a relationship with the children as well. So how does it feel when a child comes to you and says, you know what, I'm hungry and this is the only plate of food I have, and when you can't supply that for them, how does that make you feel? Because obviously beyond just being a teacher, you're a human being as well.
Yeah, it is heartbroken, really. It is heartbroken because they come to us. There were times in this few weeks back that the children come to us, Auntie Nisi or Auntie Mota, isn't there anything to eat? Then it was so like I had eaten at home, but I can't feed a lot of children from my house, you see, because there are a lot of them that don't come to school without food, and it is heartbroken. really it was heartbroken for us to see that, and that's why we went out to sponsors. We went to the local spazas, we went to the garages. There was Chadis that was supplying us, and so last week Pick Up Pay came and they could give us some food for the children, and but we made it. We made it, but still we have a long way to go with the department and with the
community for your good work as well. Well, that was Mrs. Reiters, a teacher here at Greenville Primary School here in the northern areas of Gqeberha, just speaking about how tough it was in the past couple of weeks when the Department of Education failed to pay the nutrition program to the school. Later on they did pay the amount, but she's saying now she is a bit concerned because she says what they currently have in the coffers may not last for the next couple of 2 months, and she's saying when the money doesn't come in there are more sad faces, more hungry stomachs, and she doesn't know exactly what they will do when that time comes, saying that was very heartbreaking for her, someone who deals with children, to actually face a child and say there is no food and then not know where she's going to help them. But saying that they did do what they could, they went out, they found sponsors, they went to local spazas, but saying that her greatest concern now is the next couple of weeks, especially the winter time when kids are hungry and only getting one plate of food, which is the only plate of food they get at school. So really a saddening situation here, and really hoping and praying that somewhere, somehow, Good Samaritans will come in to the fore and assist the schools and many other schools here in the northern areas.